The narration begins with a visceral description of a harsh, unforgiving world where the weak are left with nothing. We see our protagonist, clearly in distress, lamenting his fate. The visuals shift to depict a desolate, cratered landscape, emphasizing the destruction and ruin. Then, the narrative jumps back 100 years, revealing a catastrophic event, a mysterious, bright light that consumed all life on Earth, transforming the blue planet into a vast desert grave. We see the desolate Earth from afar, and then a sprawling, ruined city. The survivors' only recourse was to build their own base. One man, with a chilling smile, asks, "Why'd it leave only scumbags alive?" He then violently grabs another man, proclaiming, "Oopsie, my hand slipped." He mockingly apologizes, demanding, "Tell me your name so I can properly recognize you." The subdued survivor finally whispers, "Zeon." Zeon finds himself on a bus with other grim-faced individuals. A burly man approaches, offering a false camaraderie, suggesting they're all in the same boat. Zeon, his eyes sharp, reveals the grim truth. They're not miners, but criminals or runaways. When asked about his own past, Zeon's response is chillingly direct: murder. Zeon's past is revealed to be far darker than he let on. He chillingly states, "Technically, I didn't kill a human." We see the grim reality of Neo's soul, where the definition of human is twisted. The scene shifts to a brutal aftermath, with bodies strewn about. Zeon, his eyes burning with intensity, reveals that his brother, Lee Ji-ryung, was looking for him, and then he simply woke up on the bus. Inside a dark, brutal setting, Zeon finds himself facing a tormentor who taunts him. The aggressor questions, "You done?" and then cruelly mocks Zeon's plea, "Wait." Zeon is then violently assaulted, his body writhing in pain. His attacker spits, "You should have told me earlier. We were here for perverted reasons." The attacker continues, "I would have treated you like a cute brother. Don't you think?" But then admits, "But you went too far." The story keeps unfolding as the plot thickens. Zeon finds himself in a terrifying vortex of sand, surrounded by colossal bones, as a voice ominously states, "We're getting eaten." The scene then flashes to a chaotic struggle of bodies, before settling on Zeon in the aftermath, reflecting that life has always been a cycle of similar grim situations. He's seen it in Neo's soul and with the awakened, concluding that in this world, the strong prey on the weak, and his own potential death is simply a testament to his weakness. We're plunged into darkness, with Zeon questioning if he could have avoided his fate. The world then shifts to a desolate wasteland where a lone figure is buried in the sand. They struggle, only to be consumed by a swirling vortex. Suddenly, Zeon awakens, gasping for air, buried alive in the choking earth. He's back, but this time, the struggle is his own. Zeon cries out in despair, his body glowing with an otherworldly light. He's trapped, struggling against a sandy vortex that threatens to consume him. The desolate landscape, with its colossal bones and ruined structures, offers no escape. His eyes, filled with dawning realization, reflect the harsh truth: survival is a constant battle. Just as hope fades, Zeon awakens, gasping for air, buried alive, facing his own desperate fight for survival. Suddenly, Zeon is engulfed by a blinding vortex of sand, a desperate cry of sand, escaping him as he's assaulted by a blaster. He fights back, the sand becoming a weapon. The desolate landscape and colossal bones are a stark reminder of this world where survival is paramount. Zeon, buried and struggling, resolves to survive. By all means. Zeon lands on the harsh, sandy ground, determined. He declares, "I am going to survive." As he feels a powerful thrumming, he cries out, "This thumping. I can yell it so clearly. Every single cell in my body is vibrating." He realizes this intense sensation is the start of something new. This is awakening. Zeon finds himself in a brutal sandstorm, dodging powerful blasts. He's knocked down but defiant, declaring, "You're in the way." Another figure, disoriented and injured, questions, "This close to me?" As Zeon struggles to rise, he witnesses something extraordinary, a shadowy, winged entity erupting from the sand, its power clearly immense. On a desolate battlefield, a powerful figure is struck down, prompting the question, "Why don't you back down?" to the first floor. The impact is immense, causing an explosion and leading to the stunned realization, "So this is an awakened person." Meanwhile, a group observes, shocked by the display of power, as one exclaims, "I have never seen someone so thoroughly defeated before." Suddenly, a new threat emerges, with someone warning, "It's Giselle and a sandworm." Amidst the chaos, Zeon witnesses a terrifying battle as a powerful figure is struck down. The onlookers are stunned, realizing they're witnessing an awakened person. Suddenly, a new, ominous threat appears, Giselle and a sandworm. Zeon, still reeling from his own awakening, finds himself caught in a desperate struggle, facing the raw power of these formidable beings. Zeon and others are roughly shoved into a transport, with guards urging them to hurry. Someone questions leaving an injured companion, but is told to throw him inside as he's heading to the mines anyway. The group inside complains about the rough ride and the approaching sunset. Back in the desolate sands, Zeon, still bound, questions why his rank crest isn't blue or red. He muses that the color matches the sand, and an explanation surfaces. Rank crests reflect an awakened person's affinity. Magic types are blue, combat types red, and Zeon's sand manipulation ability is something entirely new and unheard of, even for a D rank. Zeon feels his new sand manipulation ability surging, declaring, "This world will become my stage." He then arrives at a stark, rocky landscape, the Mana Stone Mine. Bound and brought before rough guards, one of them barks, "Hey you, follow me." Zeon retorts, "You haven't untied me yet," but is silenced with a threat. Meanwhile, others observe Zeon, noting, "It's definitely strange," because he was the only survivor. We see a man, seemingly contemplating Zeon's survival, noting it's not a coincidence. The scene then shifts to a dark, industrial setting where a tense confrontation is unfolding. A woman is being held at gunpoint by a man who warns her to keep your mouth shut. She desperately asks if they're going to die like this. In a dimly lit, grimy area, Zeon questions his hunger and the surroundings, noticing the grim propaganda posters of Neo's soul. He then encounters a man who speaks of the energy source of Neo's soul, hinting at something beyond just mana stones. This leads to a tense moment where Zeon is called a rat and told to obey, revealing a new, powerful figure who thrives on this energy. Zeon, still grappling with his new abilities, finds himself in a grim meeting. An older man, amused by Zen's presence, dismisses the hideout as a place for making money. He then reveals his collection of remains, chillingly telling Zeon, "Also, your future." The scene shifts to the brutal reality of the Mana Stone Mine, where those who resist entrance are forced to endure the harsh conditions. In a world of despair, coins fall like rain, symbolizing fleeting hope for those who sell their bodies, only to end up right back where they started. A grim figure remarks that scumbags like Zeon are merely eaten when they're gone. Later, in a neon-drenched city, a confrontation erupts. Zen, facing off against an older man, claims he can't offer that kind of money, as everything is scarce. Zeon is cornered by a group demanding payment, defiantly stating, "I ain't paying shit." An older man, feigning innocence, questions Zeon's suspicion, asking how someone like himself could be involved in such business. Faced with the pressure, Zeon retorts, "Calm down, old man. Do you really think I have that kind of money?" The situation escalates, and the older man challenges Zeon, asking, What are you going to do? Cornered and desperate, Zeon faces an old man who knows about the mana stone in his pocket. The old man offers a deal, but Zeon pushes back, asking if there's another way. Suddenly, a violent struggle erupts, with the old man revealing his strength and Zeon unleashing a sand blaster against his attackers. It's a brutal fight for survival. Zeon unleashes a ferocious barrage of sand attacks, overwhelming his opponents. He then finds himself waking up, disoriented, as someone questions, "Are you okay?" Later, a man presents Zeon with a large mana stone, remarking, "Oh." At this size, Zeon's newfound power is clearly making waves, but the true extent of its consequences is yet to be seen. Back in the mine, an elder examines a large mana stone, deeming it worth at least 100 SOL. He then grabs a younger man, insisting everything here is valuable. A desperate struggle unfolds as the younger man is overpowered. Meanwhile, another group is warned to keep quiet, as thieves and dangerous individuals lurk nearby, with a chilling offer to pick one from many. Zeon encounters an old man who finds him interesting. While scavenging among debris, Zeon is captivated by a strange, ticking artifact. He later confronts a man who calls him useless, but Zeon, now bolder, uses the artifact. He then asks the old man his name, revealing himself as Old Man Klexi, and Zeon declares, "Let's never see each other again." Zeon finds himself in a dark, industrial setting, observing an hourglass. He's clearly deep in thought, contemplating something significant as the sand slowly trickles down. The scene shifts to his lodging, where he's shown contemplating the concept of time and its passage. He then focuses intently on the hourglass, his expression hardening with resolve as he whispers, "Move." Zeon finds himself in a strange room, touching an item that seems to react to his awakening. He experiences a powerful sense of déjà vu, as if the object was meant for him. Suddenly, he's violently confronted by guards who demand to know why he's not back in the mines. Zeon, defiant, reveals his name and states he was told where to go, hinting at a new path. Zeon finds himself brutally beaten, his attacker spitting, "Your damn mouth." He's accused of looking down on them, and his defiance earns him another savage blow. "Bastards like you should just take your beating," they snarl. Suddenly, a gruff voice interrupts, "Got that? Stand up and just follow me." Zeon is then confronted by Park Manhwa, who ominously states, "I'll make sure to at least kill you." He's being dragged towards Zone 3 mine entrance. Inside the bleak mana stone mine, Zeon is fitted with rough mining gear by gruff overseers. They question the daily wage, only to be told equipment costs will be deducted. One guard, frustrated, demands to know if Zeon truly needs them to explain mining, threatening him with violence if he doesn't comply. Zeon, defiant, is pushed into a dangerous shaft, warned he won't be allowed back until he finds big mana stones. Deep within the mana stone mine, Zeon and other prisoners discuss their grim reality, noting the mine is a den for illegal activities, just like Neo Soul. While others complain about the dangerous work, Zeon, confident in his newfound abilities, vows to return quickly. However, the overseers reveal a chilling truth. Over a dozen people are missing, and their fate is unknown, leaving everyone in fear. Abandoned in the depths of the mine, a lone figure expresses remorse and gratitude for being left behind. Realizing everyone else is gone, he cries out in disbelief and anger. He then fiercely swings his pickaxe, desperate and furious, only for it to slip. Lost and alone, he questions his surroundings, realizing the mana is too dense to have noticed his predicament. Trapped deep within the mine, Zeon questions why the others didn't notice him. The mana levels are dangerously high, even for someone like him. Suddenly, he's overcome by a strange sensation, realizing he's found his pickaxe again. Despite the danger, He feels a surge of luck as he's pulled into a vortex, exclaiming, "Wait, what is this? A portal." Deep within the mine, Zeon is pulled into a swirling vortex, exclaiming, "Wait, what is this? A portal." He finds himself in a drastically different environment, a desolate wasteland. A younger Zeon questions his life, lamenting, "What life did I want? And I wanted to not starve." He's then violently attacked for stealing food, but declares, "I wanted to dream too." Zeon is left battered and bleeding, the harsh reality of his situation crashing down. He's forced to question his past and his desire for a life beyond mere survival. As he struggles, a chilling realization dawns. He's been attacked for stealing food, a desperate act for a dream he could barely afford. But even in defeat, a flicker of defiance remains. Zeon finds himself in a hellish, fiery landscape, grappling with the intense heat. He realizes this isn't a dream, but a place far more brutal than any dungeon. The ground beneath him is burning hot, like heated sand. His lungs burn, and he knows he needs to escape this place quickly. He spots a potential entrance and resolves to reach the highest point of this dangerous dungeon. Zeon finds himself on a fiery mountain, gasping for air and lamenting the suffocating heat. He declares, "My name is Zeon, and I don't quit." He narrowly dodges a fiery blast, realizing how close it was. As he's pushed into a pool of lava, Zeon cries out, "Kyuk, please, please," before being consumed by the intense heat. Zeon, battered and exhausted, cries out in defiance, "I will definitely survive, no matter what." He's pushed to his limits, but his resolve hardens as he realizes he needs to jump 4 more times to escape. As he pushes forward, the fiery landscape intensifies, and Zeon vows, "My life won't end in a place like this." Zeon is caught in a fiery inferno, desperately trying to escape. He yells, "Not ever, never," before a colossal, serpentine creature erupts from the flames. Zeon dodges its fiery onslaught, but the sheer power of the beast is overwhelming. He's pinned down, gasping, "Well, sure, hot is this thing." Zeon finds himself in a searing dungeon, the heat so intense it melts volcanic ash. He declares, "I can't die yet," though his body is racked with pain and his vision blurs. He questions if this is the end, but the will to survive ignites within him, vowing to push forward. Zeon finds himself in a fiery inferno, facing a colossal serpentine creature. He narrowly dodges its fiery attacks, but is pinned down. As he struggles, a voice calls out, recognizing his sand control. Zeon, battered, realizes he's facing an old man, not a monster, who finds his sand manipulation very interesting. Back in the fiery dungeon, Zeon faces a colossal, serpentine creature. He dodges its attacks, but is pinned down. Suddenly, an old man, Plexi, appears, impressed by Zeon's sand manipulation. Plexi reveals himself, and as Zeon struggles, Plexi unleashes an attack. Zeon cries out, "Here it comes," before the overwhelming force of the blast hits. In the fiery depths, Zeon endures a brutal assault, his body screaming in pain. "Grah!" he cries out. He questions if this is the end, but a familiar voice recognizes his sand manipulation. An old man, Plexi, appears, intrigued by Zeon's unique abilities. Suddenly, Plexi unleashes a devastating attack, leaving Zeon reeling. Onlookers observe, stunned, declaring, "He's completely different. This is an existence on another level." Zeon, battered and still recovering from Plexi's attack, is directly confronted. An imposing figure demands to know his name, asking, "What are you?" Zeon, defiant, is then subjected to a terrifying countdown. 3, 2, 1. As the ominous count ends, he's faced with a powerful, ancient-looking being ready to unleash its might. In the fiery depths, Zeon faces a terrifying countdown from an ancient being. After the countdown ends, a powerful, imposing figure demands Zeon's name and identity. Zeon, despite his battered state, defiantly reveals himself as Diordan, his gaze hardening with resolve. This ancient entity, clearly powerful, seems to have a specific interest in Zeon. In a grim, earthy cavern, Zeon confronts an older man who mocks his name. The man reveals that Zeon's saturated mana is creating a dangerous snare, an entrance that vents mana and drains nearby life. In a desolate, mana-saturated cavern, Zeon is instructed to feel the mana. In a fiery, desolate cavern, the imposing figure, Klexi, taunts Zeon, calling him a dumbass and revealing that Zeon's mana is creating a dangerous mana snare. Klexi then demands to know Zeon's true identity and his purpose here. Zeon, defiant, declares himself to be Diordan, as Klexi reveals this is a hunting ground. In a fiery, hellish landscape, Zen is overwhelmed by a monstrous, bird-like creature. He questions his grandfather's words and the reality of his situation, desperately asking, "What in the world?" As he's battered and pushed into the flames, he cries out, "Ugh, these bastards." Zeon finds himself struggling in a fiery, hellish landscape, overwhelmed by monstrous, bird-like creatures. He cries out in pain, barely able to dodge their relentless attacks, questioning his grandfather's warnings. Meanwhile, a powerful old man, Klexi, taunts Zeon, demanding answers. As Zeon is about to be consumed by the flames, Klexi questions if Zeon can even speak, revealing his own senses are impaired. Zeon is trapped, desperately needing to see his attackers. He cries out, "I must find a way to see the enemies that I can't see with my eyes." He's urged to gather mana in your mind and look at me, and to increase the fun mana. The instruction is clear. Think of it as seeing with mana, instead of your eyes. In a fiery, hellish landscape, Zeon faces a monstrous, bird-like creature. He questions his grandfather's warnings and his own situation, as the creature's speed overwhelms him. Suddenly, Klexi appears, amused by the chaos and Zeon's struggle. He taunts Zeon, declaring, "I'm getting tired of this. I'm getting fired up for the first time in a while." In a fiery landscape, a colossal monster is defeated. Klexi, seemingly amused, comments, "That's a shame." He then muses about the lack of monsters and dungeons compared to his past. Meanwhile, Zeon, battered and bleeding, witnesses this incredible feat, wondering how such a large monster was killed. He then expresses his relief that the monsters are gone, but his relief is short-lived as he finds himself still trapped. Zeon finds himself in a fiery inferno, screaming in agony. He's disoriented, questioning what just happened. An older man, Klexi, appears, revealing that the intense blast Zeon experienced was from the B-boss. Klexi explains that every dungeon has a hidden boss, and that's why he's here. In a fiery landscape, Zeon and Klexi witness a colossal crimson drake unleashing a powerful force field. Klexi, impressed, notes that only B-rank monsters and above possess such abilities. He explains that red force fields indicate combat-type awakened individuals, while blue ones are for magic types, suggesting the boss is incredibly powerful. In a fiery dungeon, a colossal crimson drake unleashes a powerful magic force field, stunning Zeon, who exclaims, "Yulaluk, that's overpowered." Klexi recognizes it as a combat-type awakened ability. Zeon, battered, witnesses the drake's destruction, but Klexi reveals this was just the B-boss, and then unleashes his own overwhelming power, leaving Zeon utterly defenseless against the immense force. In a fiery dungeon, the Crimson Drake unleashes a devastating attack. Klexi, unfazed, declares, "KHSHA, are you in pain, Drake?" He then brutally ends the Drake's suffering, stating, "Today, is the day to cease your existence. Zeon, witnessing this overwhelming power, cries out in terror, "Fuck. I'm going to die today," as he's caught in the ensuing chaos. In the fiery depths of the dungeon, Zeon faces the overwhelming power of the Crimson Drake. He's battered and barely conscious, but Clexie's intense training has pushed him to his limits. As the Drake unleashes its final, devastating attack, Zeon, fueled by sheer will, unleashes his own terrifying power, mirroring the Drake's destructive force. Clexie watches, a chilling smile spreading across his face, realizing Zeon is finally becoming the monster he needs him to be. Zeon finds himself battered and thrown into a cavern, barely able to utter "Fuck." The Crimson Drake unleashes its full power, overwhelming Zeon and the environment. Clexie, however, is unfazed, watching as the Drake's B-Boss power is unleashed. He then brutally defeats the Drake, declaring its existence over, leaving Zeon to face the aftermath. In a cavernous, explosive arena, Zeon is battered, barely able to whisper. The Crimson Drake unleashes its full, devastating power, but Clexie remains unfazed. He then brutally defeats the Drake, declaring its existence over, leaving Zeon to face the aftermath of this intense battle. In a desolate, rocky arena, an imposing figure named Clexie faces off against an opponent. "To forge crayon with your heart," he declares, before ominously stating, "So just die now." A fierce battle erupts with swirling energies and immense power, as Clexie unleashes a devastating attack. He then mockingly laughs. "I see you got stronger, crayon." The grizzled old man, Clexie, questions Zeon's survival against the Crimson Drake, referring to him as a seriously strong and crazy grandpa. Zeon, battered and barely conscious, confirms he did almost die. Clexie then reveals the boss is dead, and their immediate priority is to escape before the collapsing dungeon crushes them. In a collapsing dungeon, Zeon is brutally beaten by Clexie, who taunts him, "Goodbye, idiot." Zeon cries out, "Why, you crazy old man," as he's thrown through a portal. He lands, disoriented, and Clexie explains this exit is a trap. Clexie offers Zen a choice: utilize his sand-controlling agility for Clexie's goals, or face the harsh reality of Neo Soul alone. Clexie, a grizzled elder, offers Zeon a stark choice: return to his old life, or gamble his life on a path with a 99% death rate. Zeon, battered but defiant, is presented with this impossible decision. Clexie insists Zeon must choose, as their time in this collapsing dungeon is running out.